So did you guys enjoy good food?
Yes, yeah.
Harap-harap nanti bila balik tak gemuk Alright, so today we are going to do chapter 7. After this, I'm going to show you my screen. And then that means Madam punya Google Meet ni akan tutup. So if you need to say anything, you need to switch on your mic. Alright, so we have about 20 people. Let's give your other friends a few minutes. Alright, so let's start. Alright, so nanti kalau your friends ada yang tak dapat masuk, you just let me know because I'm going to put another file in front of it. Jadi madam mungkin tak nampak Google Meet so I might miss kalau kawan kamu yang nak join. Alright, so everyone ready? This is chapter 7, statistical inference. Alright, so this one is we have a population, tapi bila kita buat kajian, sometimes we cannot take the whole population, kita ambil sampel. Alright, so for this chapter, we are trying to understand ataupun we are trying to get results from the sample. So one of the ways is actually kita guna hypothesis testing. Alright, so guna hypothesis testing. So whether kita buat hypothesis, null and alternative hypothesis. So hypothesis ni adalah anggapan. Alright, for example you can say, null hypothesis, hari ni hujan. Alright, so alternative is hari ini tidak hujan. So and then you look at the weather and then you see, kalau betul hujan, then you have to accept the null hypothesis. That means you cannot accept the alternative hypothesis. Alright, so hypothesis testing ni digunakan untuk banyak senario. One of them is in the legal system. Macam mana kita nak menentukan orang tu bersalah ataupun tidak. Alright, so of course the default. Sebab dalam dalam anggapan ni kita ada default punya anggapan. Anggapan kita adalah orang tu tidak bersalah walaupun dia ditangkap basah ataupun walaupun dah ada CCTV menunjukkan orang tu memang mencuri, for example. But our null hypothesis is innocent until proven guilty. Alright, so you look at the evidence. If the evidence says that that person is guilty, then baru kita reject kita punya null hypothesis that dia innocent. Alright, so there's steps to be taken for hypothesis test. First, you identify the population, alright, and then a level of significance, and then determine the decision rule, collect your data and calculate a test statistic. Alright, so there are 3 types of tests. Kurang daripada, lebih daripada, ataupun sama dengan. Alright. For example, let's say you want to do a hypothesis testing about yourself. You can say that, okay, the cash that I have now is less than 100 ringgit. So you take this parameter. Ataupun the cash that I have now is more than 100 ringgit. So you take this parameter. Okay, so the third one is the cash that I have now is equal to 100 ringgit. So kalau dia 101, that means you reject the null. Kalau dia 99.50 cents, you also reject the null. So you look at the symbol yang digunakan. So symbol yang digunakan menentukan sama ada you punya significance level dia jatuh di sebelah kiri atau sebelah kanan of the normal distribution. Alright, so we always assume that the null hypothesis is true. And then we determine whether your evidence show that the alternative sebenarnya adalah more true. Lebih betul lah. Alright, so we cannot simply reject the null. We must have enough evidence that the null is not true. Okay, so let's say in this case, let's say this company receives a call for technical support. The average mean dia adalah 25 minit. Alright, however, they believe that dia punya response time can be reduced to less than 25 minutes. Alright, so of course your symbol bukan sama dengan lah. Alright, so the null hypothesis is the current response time is more than 25 minutes. So let's see if we can reduce this. Alright, so that is what it means. So untuk hypothesis testing, kita ada 4 outcome. Alright, so whether the null is true and then the test correctly fail to reject the null. So bahasa dia pelik, maksudnya the null is true and then betul-betul test menunjukkan yes, null is true. The second one, the null is false. Jadi betul-betul menunjukkan bahawa reject lah null itu. Okay, the third one, null is true tapi test kamu yang salah. So result kamu menunjukkan you kena reject null. So it's an error lah. Okay, and then the third one is the null is false tapi kamu tidak reject dia. So this is the type 2 error. Alright, so there is a probability of making the error. What to do? Kita pun manusia, tidak jauh daripada kesilapan. Alright, so one is the value of 1 minus alpha, confidence coefficient. Alright, we can control it. So these are your p values, your confidence level. Kamu confident tahap 99%, tahap 95% or 90%. Alright, and then the probability of making a type 2 error, this is the power of the test, 1 minus beta. Alright, so let's go back to our example. Alright, so our example is that we assume that the current response time is more than 25 minutes. However, we would like to see, boleh tak dia di-reduce ke less than 25 minutes. If keadaan menunjukkan it's 15, yes. Alright, so that means it is less than 25 minutes. But if your current data shows that it's 24, so 24 is very, very close to 25. So meaning, there is a probability yang kita mungkin tidak reject null. Okay, sebab kita guna based on data kan. So kadang-kadang data ada 24, ada 24.5, ada 26 and whatnot. Alright, so the further away from the true mean is the from the hypothesized value, the smaller the value of your beta. Alright, so let's see based on our test. Let me see. Alright, so we have two types of test statistics. Alright, one is a z-test, one is a t-test. What's the difference? A z-test, your standard deviation is known. Kita dah tahu kita punya standard deviation. But a t-test, standard deviation is unknown. So you tengok dekat z-test ada standard deviation dekat sini. Tapi t-test, you guna S kecil. So S kecil is actually the standard deviation for the sample, not the whole population. Alright. So let's go back to our example. Alright. So our example, Madam letak dekat sini. Example 7.4. So because this is an exercise, sometimes kalau you nak tengok balik, so you can put slide number, let me see, 14 . Alright, so a sample data for 44 customers. So N equal to 44. Mean equal to 21.91. Alright, and the S, sample standard deviation, is equal to 19.49. Alright, so because our standard deviation kita tidak tahu, kita ada the value of the S. Alright, let me see. Sorry, mean is 25. Alright, so the mean, mu lah, mu is 25. Aduh, okay, kita buat macam ni lah. So the mean for the sample is an X bar. So in Excel, you can actually insert symbols. So you go to insert. Kat sini, let me see, where's the symbol? Alright. So you can insert symbol. And then you boleh cari you punya X bar kalau jumpa. Madam nampak macam tak jumpa. Mu jumpa tapi X bar tak jumpa So you guys also try to do this while Madam is doing it so that you can see how it is. Alright, so I cannot find my X bar, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. So mu Madam jumpa. This is mu. Alright, X bar Madam tak jumpa. This one no. It's okay. Right. Alright, so let's try to do this. So T is equal to X bar minus mu divided by S minus square root. So how do we put square root? SQ RT square root of N. Okay, and then tutup kurungan. This one is 21. Okay, let me see what's wrong here. Oh, okay. This one bukan minus, this one bahagi. Alright, so do you guys get the same answer? Madam boleh demo sekali lagi kalau nak. Class?
Demo, Madam.
Huh?
Demo sekali lagi.
Okay, demo sekali lagi Alright. So, we follow this formula. X bar minus mean, mu, divided by standard deviation, divided by square root of n. So, equal to cos kurungan lah. Because this one di atas, this one di bawah. So, X bar minus mu, tutup kurungan, bahagi, buka kurungan balik, S divided by square root of n. And then tutup kurungan lagi. Cuba dulu. Alright, dapat? Very easy. Okay, so the value is negative 1.05. So now, what does it mean? So negative adalah di sebelah kiri. Alright, we always believe that untuk normal distribution, mean is di tengah-tengah. Mean is 0. Alright, this value is kurang. Dia negative 1.05. So the standard error is 1.05 below the mean of 25 minutes. So maksudnya bolehlah kita mungkin betul lah kita punya anggapan bahawa kita punya mean tu kurang daripada 25. Alright? Can I continue? Class? Where are you guys?
Yes, madam.
Alright. So the next one. So the conclusion is we want to reject ataupun fail to reject the null is based on the value of the t statistic. Alright. So we look at the critical value. So lepas ni kita akan tengok. Now let's look at the normal distribution. Alright. So seperti Madam bagi tahu kita ada 3 tadi kan. Whether our null hypothesis is more, is less ataupun it's equal. So if it's more, so kalau kita tengok this is the rejection region. Alright, so ini betul. That means ini kalau kita punya data masuk ke sini, then you have to reject the null. Dia terbalik daripada the arrow. Okay, so the next one is if it's less. So kalau kita punya data atau result masuk dekat sini, that means it's more kan. So you have to reject the null. Kalau sama dengan, so it could be more or less. So kita punya alpha tu we have to divide into 2. Alright. So in this example, sebab kita punya data tadi belum siap, belum lengkap, belum lengkap diberi. So we assume that we use alpha equal to 0.05. So let's put it here. Alpha ini madam pun alpha tu. So alpha is equal to 0.05. Okay. So our null hypothesis tadi, okay, we believe that it could be less than 25 minutes. This is the current situation whereby it's more than 25. Alright, so n is 44. That's our sample size. Alright, degree of freedom is n equal to 1. So you can put it here. Degree of freedom ataupun n minus 1 is equal to 44 minus 1. It's 43. T is negative 1.05. So the critical value, alright, so now because we use this symbol, alright, we know that if the data falls here, that means we have to reject the null hypothesis. Alright, so we use this formula T inverse. Alright, so critical value is equal to T dot inverse. Alright, so there are two types of T inverse, T dot inverse ataupun T dot inverse two tail. Dua T maksudnya two tail. So this one, because the rejection region hanya ada satu, so we use this one. If the rejection region ada di sebelah kiri dan sebelah kanan, then we will use two tail. So this one, kita gunakan T dot inverse. What is the P value? The P value is equal to 1 minus alpha. Alright, so that's the P value ataupun the probability. The degree of freedom is 43, n minus 1. Okay, so you will get the value of 1.68. Alright, now, because our T value tadi negative, so 1.68 kita tukarlah kepada negative. Kita bawa ke sebelah kiri. So is it fall into this value? No. Alright, because as you can see here, negative 1.05 adalah masih di dalam region yang putih. Alright, kalau dia ke bawah lagi, negative 1.68, then it falls into the rejection region. So far so good. This one, I think if you guys remember at maths, so something you have studied in school actually many years ago, and also some of you might have studied this in business mathematics. Yeah? Alright, can I continue? Class?
Sekejap, madam.
Alright, so let's go on to the next slide. Alright, so for a two-tail test, kita guna T inverse 2T. Alright, ataupun kita boleh bahagikan alpha tu secara manual lah, bahagi 2. Okay. So now, let's say we have another example. So kita letak dekat bawah. Slide number 19 lah. Example 7.6. Alright. So, walaupun guna Excel file, but for this chapter, you don't need to open the Excel file. Sebab all the tests we can do with the data given. Alright, so you want to test whether the average age of respondents is equal. So, equal maksudnya sama dengan. So, bila sama dengan, is going to be a two-tail test. Sebelah kiri and sebelah kanan. Alright, so the null hypothesis. Okay. The null hypothesis is mean age is equal to 35, and the alternative hypothesis mean age is not equal to 35. So let's see if I can find the symbol for not equal. Seems like we don't have it. Hashtag ada. Not equals ada. Okay, here it is. So not equal to 35. Alright, so n is equal to 34. Sample mean. Your x bar is equal to 38.677. sample standard S lah. Sample standard deviation is equal to 7.858. So first we have to calculate the P value. So let me see. Mean is 35 lah. So the T statistic is equal to macam tadi X bar sample mean minus dengan population mean, the mu, divided by buka kurungan S divided by square root of N. Alright, so let me just show you the formula for you guys to try. Alright, so can I continue? Class? Are you guys here?
Yes, madam.
Alright, so dapat buat sih. Mun ada sih faham, you have to ask me. No problem, no problem. Madam mun repeat pun no problem. So you want me to continue or you want me to repeat certain parts?
Continue je, madam.
Continue. Alright, so this is the T value ataupun the test statistic. Okay, so 2.73 and then we find the critical value. Alright, so as mentioned before, kita gunakan T inverse. Alright, so either one tail or two tail. In this case, because digunakan sama dengan. So you know it's going to be two tail. So sama dengan T inverse two tail. Alright, so the P value kita ambil 0.05 alpha macam di atas tadi, and then degree of freedom is n minus 1. Okay. Let me show you the formula again. Okay, so once you have calculated the critical value, and then you will see that, alright, the critical value is 2.034. So di sebelah kiri dan kanan you have 2.034 and negative 2.034. So look at this value. This value is 2.72 ataupun 2.73 ya. So 2.73 is more, lebih than 2.03. So bila dia masuk dalam rejection region, we reject the null, meaning the average age of respondents is not equal to 35. Alright, so this is actually very simple. It's just that yang mungkin kamu rasa confused is for you to understand whether which test do you want to do and then how to calculate your T test. And then the reason why you are confused because you are not used to it. Okay, so kamu tak biasa buat, then you are confused. It's normal lah. Alright. So let us continue. So the next one is P value. So the P value is the observed significance level lah. So is the probability of obtaining a test statistic value equal or more extreme than obtained from the sample. So why does this happen? Sebab kadang-kadang dalam kita punya data, let's say population Malaysia ada 32 juta orang. Tapi of course when you conduct a study, you don't interview ataupun you don't do a sample of all 32 million people kan. So let's say you buat sampling. So katakan kamu ambil sampling 100 orang. So daripada sampling tu you nak tengok based on gender. So kamu tengok balik, kalau dalam let's say Malaysian punya population, gender kita almost equal lah, man dengan woman. So it's about 50-50 lah, ataupun 49 and 51, something like that. Tapi bila you punya sample sekali tengok 72 perempuan, 28 lelaki. So your weightage tu dah different than the actual population. So there is a probability that your results will be a bit more extreme than the population punya results. Okay. So our hypothesis can also use the p-value rather than the critical value. Alright. So untuk p-value kita gunakan a different type of test. Sebab kalau tadi t dot inverse, now is norm as this. Alright. So the different types of tests we have to use is simply because the data that we have. Certain data we don't have. So when we don't have the data, then we have to use another type of test. Alright. So this value is norm as this. Alright. So this is the lower one tail test. Lower one tail test maksudnya this one. Alright. But what if you want to find this region? Yang di sebelah kanan. So kalau you nak find this region, you guna 1 minus norm as this. Okay. Ataupun for two tail test, 2 times 1 minus norm as this, ABS, Z and true. Alright. So after this, we are going to do some exercises. Alright. So now this one tadi, if you have data of your standard deviation, if you do not have your standard deviation. Alright. So you don't have standard deviation, but you have something like this, S. Standard deviation of the sample. Alright. So instead of using norm as this, kita gunakan T distribution. T dis. Alright. So the lower tail test, alright, T dis. The upper tail test, 1 minus T dis. And the two tail test is T dis 2T. 2T. Alright. So now in this case, alright, the p-value is at the left tail. So this one was our earlier example, slide number 14. Alright. So the p-value is on the left area. Okay. And you got the t-value negative 1.05. So what if you want to find the p-value? So what do you do? Okay, madam letak dekat sini lah. Alright, slide number 33. Example number 7.7 lah. Alright, so madam letak dekat sini. So instead of critical value, kita cari p. So p-value. So p-value, you use this formula T dot dist. Alright, T dist. Alright, so kenapa tak guna 2T? Why? Because it's a one tail test lah. Alright, kita nak mengkaji sama ada the sample tadi boleh tak kurang daripada 25. It's a one tail test. Alright, so what is the value of X? So this X, we take the T value. Alright, and then degree of freedom. And then cumulative dia kita letak true. Alright. So P value. Cuba dulu. Alright, so you get a p-value of 0.1494. Alright, so 0.1494 is more than 0.005. This is 14%, this is 5%. So of course this is more than 0.05. So when the p-value is more than alpha, we do not reject the null. Alright, so far so good. Can I continue? Huh? So you guys are so quiet. I don't know if you're in front of the screen or if you're somewhere else.
Yes, madam. We're in front of screen.
Alright, so this one you dapat buat?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so let us continue. So the next example, alright, this is for vacation survey, for this one. Alright, so it's the same, slide number 23. Alright, so for this one, because there are two tail tests, so kita guna T this to T. Alright, so let's put the p-value here. Sama dengan T this to T. Alright, and then where do you get 2.72? From here, the T value. Okay, and then the degree of freedom will be n minus 1. Okay, and you get your p-value of 0.01. So 0.01, 1%, it's smaller than 0.05. So this one, madam tak letak alpha tadi. You put the alpha here. Alright. So reject the null because alpha is less than p value. Alright, so you can see there's a similar theme here. You do not reject the null if the p value is more than alpha, but if the p value is less than alpha, yes, we reject the null. Okay. Alright, so let me continue. So let's say you have a proportion, Alright, so proportion kita ambil anggapan bahawa it's a subset of the population. So kita gunakan Z test instead of a T test. Alright. So let's say in this example tadi, sama cat soft punya example. Alright, so the N is still the same. Alright, it's still 44. Alright, and they ask them to rate the quality of a software package. It reveals that 35 respondents, or is it 33? Yeah, madam check balik. Oh, this one, madam tak dapat entah, dia letak gambar. So anyway, so the proportion is 35 over 44 ataupun 79.5%. Thought that the software was good or excellent. However, in the past, the proportion, kalau sebelum ni, it's about 75% of the customers. Alright. So, is there sufficient evidence to conclude that the satisfaction dah naik ataupun tidak? Simple je. Alright. So, this one kita gunakan proportion. So, bila proportion, we'll be using the Z statistic. Alright. So, let's just put it here. Slide number 25. Example 7.8. Alright, so sama N sama dengan 44. Alright, proportion is equal to 35 divided by 44. Alright, so the previous apa nama? So previous proportion is 0.75. Alright, and then alpha is 0.05. Alright, so our hypothesis is now pi ataupun the value proportion is less or equal to 75. This is our previous data. And we want to check whether it has changed to be more than 75. Alright, so we use the Z statistic punya formula. Alright, so let's put it here. Test statistic Z is equal to the new value minus the old value. Okay, divided by square root kunci kuasa 2 of the old value times 1 minus the old value divided by N. Let's see if this is correct. Yes. Alright, so let me show you the formula once again for you guys to try. Alright. So Z statistic, we get 0.69, and then we find the critical value. Alright. So menggunakan norm S inverse. Right. So norm S inverse, what is the probability? Probability is 1 minus alpha. Alright, so 1.645, and the p-value is equal to 1 minus norm S this. Alright, the z value and true. Alright, so let me show you again the formula for the critical value. Alright, and the formula for the p-value. Alright, and then so what's the conclusion? So our conclusion is do not reject the null because the p-value is more than alpha. Alright, so dia punya ruling sama. If the p-value is more than alpha, we do not reject the null. That means keadaan tidak berubah, kan? If the p-value is less, no. Kejap. Oh, this one madam salah lah ni. Alpha is more than p-value. Okay. Alright. Okay. So if the alpha is more than the p-value, baru kita reject the null. Alright. So can I continue, class?
Yes, madam, can continue.
Alright. So, okay. So this one we are done. I hope now that as you've done more exercises, you will find it simpler and simpler. The only thing is, I do understand that there are a lot of formulas. You don't know whether you want to use the T this, the M norm this, whatever this lah. Alright. So that one, you have to see the features. Alright. So if ada sample population, sample population. If ada pun standard deviation of the population, you use one formula. If sedar, you use another formula. Alright, and this in this part is a proportion of the population. Yeah, you use another formula. Right? So now, confidence interval and hypothesis test, two-tailed test. So suppose that we construct 95% confidence interval for the mean. We wish to test the hypothesis. Adakah mean ni sama dengan the population ataupun tidak? Very simple. Alright. At a 5% level of significance, we check whether the hypothesized value falls within the confidence interval. Now, you guys must be wondering, kenapa nak buat banyak benda yang leceh ni? Alright. So the reason is that because when you are doing research, especially in terms of statistics, katakan kamu nak kaji sama ada COVID-19 memberikan impact ataupun tidak terhadap rakyat Malaysia. Okay, so you buatlah you punya kajian and then you nak tengok sama ada sampel yang kamu gunakan, is it distributive according to kita punya population. Sekali tengok sampel yang kamu gunakan tadi, semuanya pekerja kerajaan yang tidak dibuang kerja langsung. So of course, nanti you punya results will show that Alright, so let's see. Critical value is alright, And for this is one tail. And two tail. Plus and minus. So, kita gunakan dot inverse two tail. Alright, so the p value degree of freedom okay. So let me show you again. So untuk two tail kita guna t dot inverse dot 2t, right? 2t, and then the p value is alpha 0.05, and then apa nama degree of freedom is n minus 1. Alright. Alright, so let's put our hypothesis test results on this side. Alright, so for the lower tail test, critical value is equal to negative of this. Alright, so the p value is equal to let me see. Let them check dulu. How did they get this p value? Okay. The p value is equal to 1 minus norm S this. Alright. So for z value, aduh, macam mana get z value Z value, oh, is this one. Is it correct? Let me see. Incorrect. Let me see. The z value is proportion. No. P value. P value is So this one madam akan check balik lah macam ni nya dapat this p value Alright. For the one tail test, be this one, and it will be this one. Alright, so p value kelab madam akan check balik. Alright, and I will get back to you on that one. So far so good. Okay, ada tak? T this to T. Okay, what is the X? Degree of freedom. Simbolnya. Betul dulu. Oh, okay, now I know why. The T statistic. Okay. Macam tu je. So, madam kena check balik. Why is it like this? Oh, yeah. Alright, so this is how you get the T value. So as you can see, madam pun blur juga which formula to use because there are so many. Alright, so this one it uses the T distribution pun formula. Alright, so in the T distribution formula, you have T dist, you have X. So apakah X? X diwakili oleh the T statistic. Alright, and then you have degree of freedom. So degree of freedom is equal to sample size minus 1 and cumulative kita letakkan true. Alright. Tapi tu ada lain sikit. Unlessnya 1 minus T this lah. Betul lah. Alright, because this is on the upper side and this is on the lower side. So as you can see, 0.85 plus 0.15, total area becomes 1. Alright, this one is like what we have studied in the previous chapters. And then for this one, this is the critical value. The p-value is T dist to tail. Alright, T statistic and degree of freedom and minus 1. Simple. Let me check again. Simple. Too many arguments. T this to T, the value. So maybe I need to calculate another T statistic. I'm not sure. Okay, so for this one, madam si dapat lah. Kalau madam check balik tak? For the two-tail test. Alright, so for this one, the first one, the lower one-tail test, do not reject the hypothesis. Why? Because the p-value is more than the alpha. So the second one also, do not reject the null because the p-value is more than the alpha. And the third one, also the p-value is more than alpha, so we also do not reject the null. Alright, so far class? Faham ke si faham?
Madam.
Faham. Seorang tak faham. Yang lain? Are you guys trying this? Did you try to do the exercise?
Yes, madam.
No? Alright. So this one kelak mun madam dah ada jumpa jawapannya, then I will let you know. Alright, so for the next one, two sample hypothesis test. Alright, so the lower tail test. So let's see if we have two population parameters. Alright, so kadang-kadang let's say they do study about UiTM students, tapi nak compare UiTM campus Marahan dengan campus Muka ataupun campus yang di Sabah and whatnot. Alright. So this is the upper tail test. So you can see that the difference is lower tail, yang pun simbol lah selalunya, upper tail, alright, and then two tail test. So usually it's the symbols yang membezakan, alright. So Excel analysis toolpack to do hypothesis testing, alright, nya ada for the toolpack, alright. Tapi so far I don't know, ada sih kita makin. Alright, so this is difference of mean in the first population against the mean in the second population. Alright, so this one is purchase order database. So determine if the mean lead time for alum sheeting is greater than the mean lead time for durable products. So you have two products, you find the mean of the two products, and then you do a hypothesis testing. Alright, so this hypothesis testing, you can actually use the analysis toolpack. I think it should be dalam data analysis, and then kita boleh ada si dalam tu. Alright, this one the t-test. Alright, either the two sample mean, assuming equal variances or whatnot lah. So these are the tests that you can do. Alright. So selecting the proper procedure. If you have the population variance, kita guna z-test. If we don't have the population variance, kita gunakan t-test. Alright. If we don't have the population variance and we assume that there are the equal variances between the two, okay, kita guna t-test for equal variances. Alright. Now interpreting your output, if the test statistic is negative, then it's a one-tail test. Alright. If the test statistic is the non-negative, is positive atau is zero, the p-value is the correct value for upper tail. Okay, but for lower tail, you kena tolak 1. Dia macam this one lah. It's either this part ataupun this part. Alright. So, this one is another one. For lead time, I don't think we have this data. For purchase database kita ada, tapi kita tak ada lead time punya database. Alright. So, dia ambil dia punya data, dia gunakan t-test, assuming unequal variance. Alright, so variable 1 for the first supplier, variable 2 for the second supplier. Alright, and then you just click OK and your results will come out. So bila dia keluarkan results, dia terus bagi degree of freedom, t statistic, the p-value for one tail, okay, and the p-value for two tail. So what do? You as the one yang doing the Excel, you have to know, are you using one tail or you using two tail? Is it the lower part or is it the upper part? Alright. Sebab hal pengiraan ni, tadi madam tunjukkan yang manual. So untuk pengiraan, it's up to you to show how knowledgeable are you in using the data. Alright, so two sample test for means with paired sample. Alright, so kadang-kadang kita ada dua sampel. Alright, so if sample tu ada pairing, kita gunakan something that is known as paired t-test. Alright, so kita boleh tambahkan data analysis to pack untuk t-test paired two sample for the mean. So if you look at your data analysis, two sample for the mean. Memang dah ada. Alright. So this data pun kita tak ada for pile foundation, tapi I just go through with you. So variable 1, okay, for the first one estimated, and variable 2 for the actual data. Alright, alpha 0.05, okay, and then click output. So bila you click output, then you have this data set. So you have to know which one do you choose. In this case, you choose two tail. So the t value is negative 10.91. Alright, it's smaller than the lower critical value. Then we reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so it's smaller than this one. Sebab kenapa smaller? Takut nanti tanya madam, ini 10 madam, ini 1. Kenapa smaller? Sebab dia negatif. Alright? Okay. So two sample test for equality variance. So this is for your standard deviation, ataupun is also known as an F test. Alright. So F distribution. Kalau zaman dulu-dulu kita diberikan table lah. Alright, so now we already have Excel. Excel can calculate for us. Alright, so conducting the F test. Alright, kita boleh gunakan the Excel tool. Alright, we find the critical value first. Alright, for the F distribution. Okay. So in this case, dia compare the lead time tadi alum sheeting dengan durable products under purchase order database. So bila dia compare, so the F test is dia terus dapat dia punya results. Let me see. Equality for variances. So let's see, we have it here. Tak ada F test dekat sini. Ada? Dekat atas. Right, F test two sample for variances. So dekat sini, if you click OK, you just choose the first variable and you choose the second variable. Kalau your data tadi ada label, you just tick label and you click output. So it's very very simple. Tak perlu manual calculation. Alright. And then the next one is ANOVA, analysis of variance. So we compare the mean of two or more population. It's the same thing. Kita masih gunakan data analysis. You go up. So there are three types of ANOVA here. Single factor, two factor with replication, ataupun two factor without replication. So we compare the mean of the population, sama ataupun tidak. So what is ANOVA? So ANOVA is analysis of variance. So dia bezakan variation within the group, okay, of group A compared dengan group B. Okay. So let's say in this case, there exists some differences in the satisfaction among individuals with different levels of education. So college graduate degree, alright. So this one, macam you guys lah ada degree, ijazah. This one is ada masters, graduate degree. And this one some college meaning most probably diploma ke whatnot lah. Alright. So the variable of interest is called a factor. In this example, a factor is the educational level. Dia nak tahu sama ada orang yang mempunyai pendidikan tahap mana dia lebih berpuas hati. Okay. So in this case, puas hati tentang apa? This is an insurance survey. Alright. So most probably puas hati tentang insurance yang telah dibeli tadi. So you apply the ANOVA tool. It's the same thing. You go to data analysis. Alright, and then you boleh gunakan ANOVA. Alright, so in this example is ANOVA single factor. You can click OK. So the input range you just ambilkan. Alright, if ada label in the first row. Okay, and then you just click OK. Alright, so these are the results. So dia punya the different groups tadi, college graduate, graduate degree and some colleges. Alright, data set dia, okay, average and the variances. So you can see that dia ada dia punya F value, alright, and the F value is 3.92, but the F criterion is 3.47. So the F value is higher than the F criterion. So you reject the null hypothesis. Alright, so assumption of ANOVA, the groups being studied represent the population. It's random, normally distributed and have equal variances. Okay, the next one is chi-square, bukan chi, chi-square, test of independence. Alright, so we want to test whether our variables are independent or not. So in this case, dia ada dia punya data set. Alright, so if gender and brand preference are independent, so dia nak tengok sama ada adakah gender lelaki ataupun perempuan, mana-mana dia akan pilih. Is it brand 1, brand 2, brand 3? It's independent of each other. So dia gunakan chi-square. So chi-square, the total in row I times total in row J divided by total number of observation. Alright, so dia totalkan saja and dia bahagikan. So they get this value. And then they calculate the test statistic. Unfortunately untuk Excel, nampak gayanya dia a bit manual. Alright, so this is the chi-square statistic. And then dia ambil the values untuk chi-square distribution. Alright. So another one is we can actually use the Excel function. Alright, which is chi-square, CHISQ dot inverse dot RT. Alright. So this is the chi-square statistic that gives you the answers. Alright, so this is dia punya calculation. Alright, for the critical value and the P value. So the critical value is, let me see, more than the P value. So they reject the null. Alright, so for chi-square test, it assumes expected sales frequencies. Alright, in this case, I think data dia tak sesuai sangat lah because it's a very small number of data. Alright. Alright, so violations of chi-square assumption. In this case, so ada certain of them, the frequency is less than 5. Alright, so bila less than 5, chi-square dia tak dapat nak kira. So what you can do is you can group this data so that you punya frequency tu more than 5. Alright, so kita dah habiskan chapter 7. So as you can see, it's not as difficult as it looks. The only thing is that kita pun chapter 7 is more towards which statistics that you want to use. Okay, which formula that you want to use. So far, any questions, class?
No, madam.
No questions. Alright, so if no questions, that's all, class. I think we can end the class here. Alright, if anything, sit lah, madam nangga kita orang pun chat tak. Alright, sorry madam si dapat buka because screen tok madam tutup. Alright, thank you so much for your feedbacks. Okay, for your assignments, please start to do your assignments. Kita orang have to submit by 29 of June. Alright, so let me see. This is your subject, your group assignment 29 of June and your lab assignment 29 of June. Semua dah madam beri. Alright, so please try to do your assignments. Alright, and then please submit. So that, coba pola awal lah. Musik kelak takut ada yang kita orang si dapat pola, then you can ask me. Alright, if no questions, that's all, class. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Wednesday. Alright, okay, bye.